Great day. How are you? It is your girl, Raquel May David, and I'm with my co-host, David Sanchez, and we were meant to be. I'm so happy that you guys are here. I think we're going to make today an open room. It looks like Monday is coming into our open room night. So how are you doing today? Giving some time for some more people to get in. Kind of like, ooh, hey, look like we're losing some. We're losing some on the connection. Hey, welcome, Katrina. How are you? So
Hey
happy.
everybody, how you doing?
Good. So happy that you're here. This is Dispute Panda night. We are talking about the free version of Dispute Panda. Are you already utilizing the system right now? Let's see. I guess we're gonna wait like 5 more minutes and then we'll get started with the platform.
Okay. So today I added money on it to use it, but I haven't used it yet. And I messed up. I added $60, then I added another $20. I didn't know what I was doing, child.
Oh, okay. So you haven't used the platform as of yet.
No, I haven't.
Okay, so we're going to do a walkthrough today. I'm so glad you told me that. So that gives us some time to know where you are. We're going to give it about 2 more minutes and then we're just going to get started. And since you already have the platform, I'm not going to sign up for the platform, but I'm going to go in and kind of show you how to use the platform from there, considering the fact that you're the only one here. So we want to make sure you get all the answers.
Okay. Yeah, I was just kind of confused. So what is Credit Dino?
Credit Dino is the credit monitoring software. So kind of like how you might use Smart Credit or Identity IQ, Credit Dino is a credit monitoring software. The difference between Credit Dino and the other softwares, hold on a second. Give me 1 second. The difference between Credit Dino and the other credit monitoring software are several things. So I guess we'll just dive on in right now. Hold on 1 second, my love. Let me go ahead and open up my platform and show you. I'm going to sign into my guest platform. So hang on 1 second. Share my screen. Screen 2. All right. Can you see my screen okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Awesome sauce. Okay, so we're going to go to login. So let me make this a little bigger. Boom, like that, like there. Okay. All right. So when you get into the platform, I'm kind of going to walk you through inside of the platform since you already have the platform itself. Okay. So the dashboard basically gives you information such as the last time a round was started for your particular client. So each attack, so to speak, is a round. So normally they say a dispute round. With Dispute Panda, they call it an attack round. Okay, so when you're looking at the main page of the dashboard, once you've loaded the client in, if there's any missing documents, it'll be notated here. If they're having a birthday, you'll be able to see it here. One of the things that I want to point out on the platform, if you click earn free credits, it takes you to this platform where you're able to go ahead and earn free credits. It normally opens up a window that says for you to accept it. I always tell everyone to accept it because it's what I like to call drip money. So if you tell anyone about Dispute Panda and give them your actual affiliate code, it will allow you to make money while they're building their credit business, their credit repair business. Okay. So it's not live right now, but I tell everybody to sign up for it. Okay. If you want to upload to the pro, you could go ahead and click on this option to upload to the pro. And if you want to sign up for Credit Dino, you can click this option and you'll be able to register and you'll get your own affiliate link for Credit Dyno. So
Okay.
Credit Dyno pays you anywhere from $8 to $22 for every client that is under your affiliate link for credit monitoring. So you get your own dedicated link that you can leverage, and you can put it on your social media. You can put it in your email market, put it everywhere, honey. Okay. Put it everywhere you want to put it, all everywhere. But this is another way for you to make money where you're not really doing hard sales. One of the things that I normally do is I'll drop a post of like updates that I have for my clients, and then I'll turn around and drop my link. Or I'll drop in the middle of the month, when's the last time you checked your credit report, right? And drop my link. So this is a great way to just put the information out there. No matter what industry you're in, it just makes it a lot easier. And any information, such as a monthly or weekly wrap up for your profile, it will be here, and you'll be able to view details on kind of what's happened. Now, this is a pro feature. So I want to tell you that the reports tab, the subscription tab, is not available for the free users, and neither is the inbox.
Okay.
Okay, this is not accessible. So when you go in there, it'll say like update to free. Update to pro is what it will tell you. You do not need the pro to utilize the platform. The first 8 months, I only used the free, and I still got results.
Okay.
Okay. So this is the main page, the dashboard. If you want to search for a client, you can look up here and type in your client's info. You do have to select 3 characters in order for it to pull your client in. Okay. Once you have the client pulled in, you can either click on this eye icon to go into the client's profile and kind of see all their business. Okay. Or you can click on the client's name. It takes you to the same thing where you get to see their profile. Now, if you want to add a new client or you want to import a client, you can click on import. So if you're leaving another software to come over here, you can click import, or you can click on new client. And this is where you would go to add your client's information in the platform. So I'm going to go ahead and add a client now so you can kind of see what it looks like. Now, the middle name is not necessary and the suffix is not necessary. What is necessary for your client's profile is their first and last name. It has to be spelled right. You want to make sure that it's nice and clean. Okay. Once you put that information in, now personally, if I know that I have a person that uses their middle name, like I have one client that even on his driver's license, it says the V. It doesn't say the whole thing, but it says the V. So every single document that I send out for that particular person will have that information, just to make it easy for them and make sure that all of the information is consistent across the board. Okay. Welcome to the room, Angel. We are having just a deep in class. Let us know if you have already signed up to the Dispute Panda platform, or if you send out any rounds. And if you have any questions, honey, you can come on into the room. It's my pleasure to go ahead and support. Okay. All right, so you're going to put the phone number. So one thing I want to point out here is that I always recommend that everyone put themselves in the system. Okay. Even if you're saying, oh, my credit is good, or I don't have any problems, still put yourself in the system and utilize the system. So you know what the letters coming back look like, so that you know how to educate your client that, yeah, LexisNexis is going to send you out X amount of mail from one letter, or TransUnion is going to send out all these documents from this one letter, right? It gives you the ability to have those deep conversations to get everything flowing the way that you need to, so you actually know how the software works. Okay. Then 1, 2, 3, 4. You're going to put everything in the spot that it needs to be. So if the person has an apartment, a suite, a unit, you're going to put it on this level, but the city, state, and zip code all has to go on the individual level, because all of this information that you're putting in is going to be transferred onto the letter that you're going to send out. Does that make sense?
Yes.
All right. And then of course you put the client's birthday. All right. So if you had the pro version, you would click the invite client now tab, And that will allow you to go ahead and your client will actually get an email for them to go ahead and open up and upload their own documents. If you're on the free plan, it doesn't even give you the option to go any further anymore. It will tell you no. Like it'll pop up a box and say you can't do anything. Okay.
Okay.
Once you get the client in, I'm going to show you. Welcome to the room, Mr. S. So happy to have you here, my love. Let's see. All right, so we're going to grab some info. So we're going to grab the driver's license and drop it in. Once you drop in the driver's license, if you see that the person may have used, like put the driver's license in and it's a big sheet of paper, just crop it down to just the information you need. Everything else you don't need, okay? So like when we talk about the bills, if they send supporting documents, bills, light bill, cell phone bill, doesn't matter. They don't need all this information, okay? We're gonna crop it down just to the date and the address information that's needed for the client. And you're gonna crop and save. The goal is to get all of the documentation on no more than 1 to 2 sheets of paper. Because remember, when we're doing this, all of the documents we're using ink, we're using paper, right? So we don't want to waste stuff that we don't need to waste, right? The Social Security card is optional. I'm gonna go ahead and pull up really quickly. No, okay, cool. Hold on, let me exit out of full screen here. Okay. I want to go ahead and pull this over. So these are the documentation that are required in order to get what you need for supporting documentation with your dispute letters. If your client's driver's license is in Kentucky, but they now live in Maryland, you're not going to ask them for the driver's license. You're going to ask them for another supporting document that does have the house address or the address that they're using as a supporting document. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does.
All right. Once you have that documentation, you are going to be able, hold on 1 second, y'all. You are going to be able to move on to the proof of address. So if your client, let's say they don't have a valid driver's license, but they do have their social security card, you don't have to put the social security card under proof of address or proof of identification and then again under other. Oh, you only have to meet the 2 required spots that are on the Dispute Panda platform, which is your proof of identification and your proof of address. That is it. So if you use a social security card under here, you can pick something else from the list under proof of address and roll with it. Again, if you're doing a bank statement, a mortgage statement, all of that stuff, you can crop to just that portion where it has the client's address and name on the profile. Everything else you don't need to have, okay? Because it's not their business, all right? It's not their business. Make sure you understand, all right? Now, when you're using Credit Dino, I like Credit Dino, and I'm going to tell you one of the major reasons why I like them. So number 1, Credit Dino gives you the full 7-year report for your client. All of the other credit monitoring systems only give you 2 years. Secondly, if you're using Credit Dino, you do not pay for a tax. Your tax are completely free. So if your client is with Credit Dino, you come in every single month. I'm going to load the client's information in here. Hold on 1 second, my love. So let's say this client was already in here. We're on month 2. I'm coming in here. I'm clicking the 1-click import and I'm getting the client's profile. Okay. If you are using any other credit monitoring software, you actually have to go into that credit monitoring software, update the credit profile, and then download it into the system or upload it into the system. Let's say upload it. You also do not get a free round of attacks. So you will pay $17 for the letters that you're doing for any of the other credit monitoring profiles. So let me ask, which credit monitoring software do you use, Katrina?
Right now I use my score, my IQ. But I'm a transfer to Credit Dino. That's why I asked about that. I was thinking about transferring to them.
Okay.
And
So
how much do
every
they charge monthly?
yes, there are. It is monthly. It's I believe it's either 29 or 39.99 a month. Every month that you pay, it's you get a free round of attack every 35 days. Now, what
Okay.
I want to point out is if you pull your credit report on day 30, day 31, day 32, day 33, day 34, you will have to pay for that round of attack. The system is generated to allow 5 days for mail, 30 days for processing. So it's always going to give you a free round of attack every 35 days. So even if you wait till day 40, you're fine. But if you end up pulling earlier than that 35-day window, you will be billed that $17 for the
Okay.
attack. Okay. So since you have money in your bucket, so y'all that are just coming in, hey Keith, if you
Yeah.
guys aren't aware, you have to add money. So I'm going to go down the side real quick. I'm going to take a brief intermission and go down the side real quick. I'm going to jump into the balance because I know you said you weren't quite sure what you were doing. And I want to cover some good tips over here so we could talk about this. Okay. So
Okay.
when you come to the side, when you click on balance, it basically takes you into the settings file. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
When you get into, hey Keith, when you get into the settings file, I like to start from the top. So I'm gonna go from the top and then we're gonna get back to billing in a second. The top is when it says profile, this is your information. So if you change your address, your phone number, your email address, whatever it is, if you want to add a picture, honey, okay, add your picture. Now, ain't nobody gonna see it on the free version. On the pro, they gonna see it once they get into the dashboard. But on the
Okay.
free version, you get to see your lovely face every time you go over here, okay?
Okay.
Under organization, if you change to do this as this being your professional site, you can update your logo, you can put your business information, phone number, your privacy policy, your address, and you can upload the contract. Does anyone need a copy of the contract? Let me minimize it.
I do.
All right, I'm gonna send you a sample contract. Please be aware that you want to make sure that your contract is in alignment for your state. There are different laws depending on the state that you're in. You want to make sure that your contract is in compliance to it. And just as a best practice tips, make sure y'all have fees notated in there, okay? If a check bounce, make sure that fee is clearly notated in your contract of what you're going to charge the client because it costs to do business and it costs when you drop the ball and you don't do right business. You follow what I'm saying?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. So contract is in the file for you. So you can update this information. Also, if you want to add a team member to go ahead and support whatever you're doing, you have the ability to add that team member in here and they would have their own username and password. So you don't have to give your username and password to, like, if you have a VA or if your cousin is helping you work the business, you don't have to worry about that. Okay.
Okay.
The affiliate links, if you sign up for all the credit monitoring, you can put your affiliate links codes here. Now, if you have the pro and you have all of these on green, that means when the client logs into their client safe access portal, they'll be able to pick which credit monitoring software they have. I have my affiliate links here. However, I don't use them all. Okay, so they're all turned off and I hit save. And that way, when a client comes in, they only have the access to the credit dyno. Okay, but you can do, come on now,
Okay.
y'all living in these streets, y'all can do what y'all want to do now. Okay, now the disputing option is where you can go to update the information for the actual credit bureaus. It gives you the ability where if you're noticing that mail is coming back from a particular address from one of the credit bureaus, the three major ones, you can change the address so that going forward, the mail only goes to that particular location. Now, if for some reason you're realizing, hey, let me go ahead and change that, you can come in and change it back and you are good to go. Okay,
Okay.
any questions so far?
Nope. That's nope.
Okay. Now, the billing tab, this is where you can go and upgrade your information. You can select your payment plan, like your dedicated credit card or ACH if you would like. And this is what I love about Dispute Panda. So they noticed that a lot of people were doing their own credit and they were fixing thank you. They were fixing their own credit. So they said, well, we see that most people are either buying $20 or they're buying $60. Okay. So since we see what they're purchasing, we're going to do a subscribe and save and give them 50% more of whatever they purchase. So what's
Yeah, that's
happening
what I
now?
did. I
You
was
said
trying to
that's
sign
what you
up for
did?
the $20 one, and I ended up doing the $60 one time, and then went back and did a $20. So it was like I got 110. It's like it's whatever.
Got it. So you want you want to figure out which one you want, and you can send a message to the back office as to which plan you'd like to have so that they can cancel out the other one. Just hit on contact us and it'll adjust it for you. So you're not double billed going
Okay.
forward. Okay. Now, the only time you get 50% more is if you do the subscribe and save either for the $20 or the $60. If you do not do it for that and you're doing a standard payout, like you're paying in bulk, you only get whatever you put in the platform. So even if you are on the subscribe and save option for 50% more on the subscribe and save, whatever you purchase in the bulk purchase format is only going to be whatever the amount is that you enter. Please be aware that the lowest amount that you can get is $20. That is the lowest amount you can put on there. And I'm going to tell you why in a second so you guys can see it in real time. The invoice tab. Ooh, I'm sorry, y'all. Things are ringing over here. Maybe not. Hang on 1 second. I'm sitting here like, how do I have my do not disturb on? And things are still ringing. Please forgive me, y'all. I don't know what happened. Okay, so here, if you're wanting to go ahead and see what invoices you have or how much you've purchased, if you want to go ahead and see what your, if you have Panda Pro, how much you have paid for that, right? And if you want to go ahead and see what statements have been completed, you get to see all of that on this invoice tab. The activity tab, however, tells you what letters have been mailed for each client. If you have sent the system a notification to mail letters out for you, it will be available for you there. And any attack credits you have for any clients that you have imported from Credit Dino, you're able to see when the attack has been applied, and then you can also see when you've used it under the activity tab. Okay. The integration tab, it allows you to integrate different platforms with this CRM. So if you're wanting to use Zapier, there's a host of features that are able to be used here. And if a feature is here other than Zapier that you might want to use, or maybe you want to use something other than Go High Level, you could submit a request for them to update that for you as well.
Let me ask you a question.
Mhm.
So under the new client, since I don't have the pro, I manually enter the client information. Do it still send them an invite or no?
It will not send them an invite if you're on the free plan. It will not send them anything at all, because the only time this actually, if you do the free plan, if you're in it right now and you try to add a client, you try to click on the box, it will pop up and say, this is a pro feature up. Would you like to upgrade? So it tells you right away. Before it didn't tell you, but Mr. S is so awesome. He gives us one thing I love about this community is when you guys give us feedback and say, hey, this isn't really working the way that I thought it would, or like, hey, do you think you guys can do this? Our back office really does get into the nitty-gritty to make it work for you, right? To make it make sense. So before, when people clicked that button and they were on the free platform, they were waiting for something. So now we put in a note that says, hey, this is a pro feature, so nothing is going to happen. And we give you the option to just go ahead and click the save. So you can then load the client information. Great question. Any questions, guys? I love this talking with Miss Katrina now. I'm going to have to give Miss Katrina a good prize today. Any questions, guys, so far on what I've covered?
No, that's it for right now.
Awesome. So let's get in with the client. So I'm going to go back to the training tab as it stands for Dispute Panda. And I'm going to say this every single call, every single class. Y'all do not have to wonder how to process files. Okay. If you click on this free download option, it will give you the guide that is most current, that does not require certified mail, does not require colored. It tells you when you are going to dispute with the other credit reporting agencies outside of the major three. Okay, and it tells you when is a good time for you to do a CFPB complaint. Boom. So there is no guessing game, even if you are brand new trying to learn your way through. This is the step-by-step flow that you can put into effect, whether your client has a repo, whether your client has a foreclosure, whether your client has bankruptcy. This flow can work for them. Okay? So you want to make sure that as soon as you get into the training tab, before you scroll down, honey, and you get into any of the videos, click on the free guide. And I know that the free guide does state, hold on, let me move this out the way. Here we go. I know that the free guide does state that this is the flow for Dispute Panda Pro and Credit Dyno. If you are using My Score IQ, if you are using Smart Credit, if you're using Identity IQ, it doesn't matter. You can still use the same flow. The only difference is if you do not have Credit Dyno and you do not have Pro, you do not get the creditor letters. Do we understand the difference between the credit bureau and the creditors?
No.
Boom. Oh, I love that. I love it, girl. Okay, so let me show you in real time so you can know what I'm talking about when I'm talking about it. Okay, hold on. So the credit bureaus, the major credit bureau is Equifax, Experian, and TransUnion. Those are the credit bureaus. The other credit agencies are, let me make this a little bigger because you know I got vintage eyes, y'all. LexisNexis, Enovis, LCI, ARS, Credco, Clarity, and there is a slew of others, okay? These actual agencies feed information into the big three that are normally leveraged for mortgages, auto loans, credit cards, right? So the credit bureaus, the major ones that we focus on are Equifax, Experian, and TransUnion. These others are also collecting your information and do also have a score. Like they keep your information. They know who you've been married to. They know your driving record. They know your bankruptcy information. They know your repo information. All of those information that's on the credit bureau is most of the times at some of these secondary agencies. I call LexisNexis Big Brother in the sky. So if you do nothing else, LexisNexis and Enovis are a must to also dispute when you're going through the process of credit repair. Okay?
Okay.
Now, the creditors are the people that you asked for accounts with, relationships with. So that's Capital One, American Express, Santander, Toyota, right? All of those companies are the creditors. So when you have the pro, you get the ability to not just dispute. When you have the pro and you have Credit Dyno, you get to dispute with the credit bureaus and you get specific letters to the creditors themselves that says, hey, you are reporting this account to ... Here's the credit bureau. Here's the information of the coding that's incorrect or whatever verbiage you're needing to use at that particular time. So that's the difference between the credit bureau and the creditors. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Yay. Okay, cool. So now, once you have all of that, you're going to come here once you've loaded all the documents in, you've imported the credit report. Now, bear in mind, guys, if the person does not have Credit Dyno, again, I want to point out that when you do the one-click import, it does not work. It only works if you have Credit Dyno. So if your client is with any other credit monitoring software, you have to log into that software, update the report, and then come back over here and download the report for it to be used. Okay. The disputing tab. So I want to break down the differences on the credit report. So the inquiry is all of the hard inquiries that have happened on your file. So anytime you apply for credit and they pulled your score to get your score and your information, that is considered a hard pull. A soft pull normally only looks to validate that the name and address that you provided are correct. Soft pulls do not take any funds or any points away from your overall FICO score or your overall scoring. Soft pulls do not take anything away. Hard pulls do. And you can lose anywhere from 7 to like 12 points. It all depends on what they deem that particular inquiry to be worth. So when you are disputing your client's profile, I want to point out that the system will only select account information, which means the creditor information that is appearing on your actual credit report. So anything that's inaccurate, anything that is creating a hindrance to your client's overall score, the system is going to automatically select it. Now, this little icon here that you're seeing, the triangle warning, the reason why that's there is because it's meant to alert you of an issue. Now, if you have the credit dyno, you're able to click on the icon and you can actually look at the profile itself. And I'm going to kind of go through and give you 2 tips. So first tip is, if you see this yellow marker, I would not be alarmed, but what I would do is open the profile. I will open the profile and look to see what is the history saying and what is the account health saying for my client. When you're looking at the history, and the reason why this has an icon is because when the system first came out, all of our letters were meant to remove and delete, remove and delete. However, we now have verbiage that are specifically catered to late payments. So if you're going through the process and you're looking at an account that is within a 24-month window, because late payments impact your clients within a 24-month window. Anything outside of that 24-month window, do you want to clean it up? Yes, you can do a goodwill letter. You can even use the late payment letter that the system is going to automatically generate. But I'm telling you this because if it's outside of the 24-month window, I would not necessarily have, like, it wouldn't be something that's like gravely important to move for the client, right? Because if they're now reporting current, or if that account is current and now closed, that's not something I'm going to be aggressively trying to get rid of. However, will I send a nice little goodwill letter? Absolutely. Will I allow the system to generate a letter for me? Absolutely. But I just want to explain that that's why this triangular alert is here. Does that make sense?
Yes.
All right. So now, if you are during my consultations, one of the things that I tell my clients is I have a conversation about the breakdown and the calculations of the FICO score. The FICO score has 5 components. The 3 heaviest weighted portions is your payment history, your utilization, and your age. Your payment history is worth 35% of your overall score, which equates to roughly 192.5 points. So if I'm looking at my client's profile and I'm seeing that they have a late, I'm seeing that they're having a past due, I'm having conversations to them about how this is impacting their score. Every time you're late, you have to allow 24 months for you to earn back those points that you lost. Now, again, we're going to work for you. We're going to try and do a good faith letter. We're going to go ahead and I always leverage emailing the CEO as well. You have different methods of supporting that late payment, but you want to stress the importance because the goal is to get 192.5 in that area. If you're late, you're not getting the maximum points. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Cool. Now, I would go on to account health, and we're going to have a conversation about how much credit do they have versus how much credit they are using. Your utilization is worth 30% of your overall score, which equates to 165 points. Okay? If your client is using, or if their goal is to be in the 700 club, you need them to be using no more than 20% of their overall available credit. Overall, not just one card, but like they would have to add up what their credit limit for all of the cards that they have. If they don't have any, you need to be able to tell them where they can get some, okay? But you're going to add it up and divide it by the amount of cards they have. Once you're looking at once you're looking at the account, you're going to divide the total credit limit by, I would say 20% and say, hey, this is what you're supposed to be utilizing at the end of every statement cycle. Like, this is the max amount of credit you can use to stay in this club. Now, if they want to be in the 800 club, they need to use 10% or lower. The average American is of 30% or higher, but you're giving them best practices to get them where they need to be. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does.
Awesome sauce. So that's kind of one of the tidbits that I give them. So if once you're going through the profile, rule of thumb when it comes to the inquiry, because the system is never going to select it, is you have to select the inquiries that are being disputed for your clients. Rule of thumb is never to send a dispute for any accounts that are attached to an open and active credit line or credit card. So
But how will you know that?
Because down here is the open accounts. You'll be able to see what's open or closed,
Okay.
right? So if
You
you're
gotta match
up
them up?
here, yes. So what you do is, if you're using a window-based computer, you would do Control F. If you are utilizing a MacBook like myself, you're going to do Command F. It's going to open a search window and you'll be able to type in these accounts that are listed here. So like for Citi, I can then click and see, do they have an open Citi card or open Citi account? If I see that they have an open one, I'm not hitting the inquiry for that because that's a credit card or a credit line. Now, if I go in and I see that if it's not open, it's closed, then I have no problem going ahead and doing the inquiry on Citi because she doesn't have any open Citi accounts. Or if I see there's no accounts under there, I'll go ahead and dispute it because there's nothing that it's linked to. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does.
All right. So now when it comes to this account, it says FNBO Omaha. I'm going to tell you, for a rule of thumb, I will remove the FNBO because sometimes it shows up and sometimes it doesn't. If there's a slash, like it might say Synchrony / Target, I will search Target by itself and I will search Synchrony. A lot of people will have like 7 or 8 different Synchrony because Synchrony had a partnership with a multitude of companies, right? Synchrony had a relationship with Amazon, Walmart, which I think Walmart might be going back to them because Walmart had moved to Capital One. And because of Capital One not reporting payments on time or releasing the payments, the available credit to the clients, Walmart went back to court and pulled their relationship away from Capital One. So these informations and kind of being aware of all of the changes, Capital One now bought Discover. Discover used to be paid, they reported on time every single month, right? With the fact that they're merging to Capital One, who are they going to be following suit? Are they going to follow suit with Discover's way that they report payments, or are they going to follow the suit with Capital One? So those are different things that while you're growing in the industry, you want to keep an ear to the street to figure out what's the best thing to do. But getting back to this, go ahead. You had a question?
No, I don't say okay.
Okay. But getting back to this, when you're looking through, you want to make sure that there's no open and active accounts that are showing up at the bottom. You can see it to show 1 of 1. It might say 1 of 2. If it says anything more than 1 of 2, you want to click through either by clicking enter or the next button for it to move you into the next space. Okay. But again, rule of thumb, the system is never going to select right now. Now, again, as the system expands, it's possible that they may add it in, but right now they're not. So Omaha, FNB Omaha does not have any account showing on the report, and neither does US Bank. So I would go ahead and check the boxes for these inquiries to be disputed. And you would do that for all of the inquiries that are on file. Once you've done that, you can hit Save Filter, and it will now take you to where you can attack. So before you can select the letter round that you want to use, you have to make sure that you are telling the system what you want it to dispute, right? So again, I'm going to go back to the attack guide. I have the attack guide here, and it's telling me my first round. So it says attack number 1 it's Punch of Fury, Supreme Boosted. If I had the Pro, I would select yes for creditor. I'm going to then click, also do the LexisNexis and all the secondary agencies. I'm going to select handwritten, and this round is not a CFPB complaint round. Okay. The letters are going to be single. The letters do not have to be in color. If you're like me, I have a color printer and I have a black and white. Whichever one it prints to is what it's going to print. Okay. Let me just, I like to be honest with y'all. Okay. If I send it to my brother, it's black and white. If I send it to my HP, it's in color. Okay. Y'all going to get what y'all going to get now. All right. The words are right. So now I'm going to go to start round. I'm going to click on Punch of Fury. Because of the fact that it is my first round, they say that they want it to be handwritten. That doesn't mean that you're handwriting. The system has 10 different handwriting options that it completely generates and spits out for each letter. So you don't have to worry about anything. Once you click the button, you're good to go. If you have the Pro, you can click the generate creditor letter and it will generate the creditor letter for you. But the first round is Supreme Boosted. So you're going to select here. You're going to select start round, and then you're going to type in confirm because the system wants to make sure that you're okay with either one, pulling the $17 or two, pulling it from the attack credit that you have on file. Miss, is it Chantelli? I hope I said that right. Said, so without Pro, how do we dispute to the creditors? Manually? Yes. You would have to generate the letters yourself. That is going to go to the creditors directly. We've just noticed that a lot of times when we're sending out letters to the credit bureaus, the credit bureau will use their own internal software, which is known as eOscar, that tells the system this is valid, this is not valid. So sometimes the first round that you're sending in to be disputed, they're not even reaching out to the actual creditors themselves. That's why the Pro came in and was helping with the creditor letters. So remember, if you have to have Pro and Credit Dyno in order for the creditor letters to be done. If you do not have Pro and Credit Dyno, it's not going to allow the process. Is the Pro community and training different from regular community and training? No. So that's a good question. So the community itself, hold on. I'm going to answer that question in 1 second, Keith. I'm going to take you over so you can see. So once you're done, you're going to hit start round. The system is going to generate the letters for you. And then you're going to go back in. And the reason why it's important that the system allows you to do $20 is because when you do the letters are $17, right? In order for you to get the static letters that are going to go to the secondary bureaus, you have to have at least $1 in your bucket. If you do not have the money in the bucket, it will not allow the process to go through. Okay.
That's $17 for all three, or just for $17 per?
Nope, all three. So this attack that I just did, it cost, if I did not have Credit Dyno, it would have cost me $17. And hold on, let me go back real quick. And these are all the letters that I get for my client, this particular client, based on all of the negative accounts that they have. Right? So my $17 is printing out the required letters that need to go to TransUnion, Experian, and Equifax. And they break it down based on how the system knows that there's a max of certain amount of information depending on the letter that it's going to put in each letter. So some letters have a cap where they won't put any more than 5 accounts to be disputed in one letter. Another letter might have a cap of 7. So with that being said, if you have a client that has 20 or 30, you're going to have more letters to compensate for that. Okay. Right. But here's the flow. So you have the letters here. So now I would come back in after I did my first round. So that covered either my free, if I'm using Credit Dyno, or my $17. I'm now going to come to the static letters. I'm going to hit handwritten because it's round 1. And I'm going to select all of the secondary bureaus that are listed here. Okay. And then I'm going to select start round. Because I have money in my bucket, it's going to pull the letters. And remember, you see, Nothing came out of my bank because I had money in my bank. So the static letters are free as long as you have money in your bank. So I can either have the system mail the letters out for me. Remember, I don't have to do it. I don't have to do anything for certified mail, but if I wanted to, I can switch it to certified mail. This would be my cost if I do certified mail. It is supposed to be single letter, so I'm not going to do double-sided. So you see how much that cost me? No, ma'am. We're going to do the free letter, okay? It is no color. I can have the system mail it out as long as I have the money in the bucket. If you do not have the money in the bucket, you simply hit cancel, add the money, come back to the client and send, and then complete the mail them out. The static letters, you would have to either, again, if you do not mail it out, you're going to have to select download for yourself and download the actual letters, print it out, and mail it out yourself. Otherwise, you have to tell the system to send the letters out. And you would have to do it for the attack. You'd have to click mail out. You're going to leave it at first class. You're going to move it from double to single. This is how much it's going to cost you for just the letters to the credit bureaus. And then you go over to the static letters, you do the same thing, and this is how much it's going to cost you for them to mail it out to the secondary agencies. Okay. Any questions on what I've covered so far, guys?
So with the free program, we don't get the secondary bureau, right?
You still get the access to the secondary bureaus. You just have, regardless of whether you have the free or the pro, the letters are still available to you. The only thing that is not available to you is, you see this box where it says generate creditor letters? That is the only thing that's not available to you. This box will be grayed out if you are on the free platform. Okay. But everything else on the platform still works 100%.
And another question, how do you know what letter to send out?
Because you have the guide right here and it tells you what letters to send out. Do you remember where to get the guide from?
Yeah, I downloaded that in the chat. Okay.
Yep. So when you go to the top of training, you click free download. This is how you're going to know what letters to send out. I always tell the people that are in my mentorship, anyone that's on this call, my recommendation is when you send out a letter, you want to track what was removed. If it's a dollar amount, how much that dollar amount is, because here's the thing, not everyone has the same credit report. It doesn't all look the same, but you know, a lot of people been with Santander, right? And you know, a lot of people been with Wells Fargo. So now as you're going through, you can track which letters were able to successfully get off a Santander account or a Wells Fargo account. And you'll be able to see, okay, I was able to successfully delete it in round 3. Right? So you kind of are tracking, because there are no guarantees in credit repair. But if you're able to track, you're able to create a blueprint that will always allow you to elevate, right? So for me, I always suggest tracking. I actually just created a tracking form for my people. So track what you're doing, okay? That way you'll know exactly, okay, I dispute things differently. So I ask for the report before I even start disputing. And when I say I ask for the report, I ask for the report from the secondary bureau. So these static letters that are going to LexisNexis and Innovis, before I even start disputing, the first thing I ask them for is for the report, because I want to know what's on it so that I'm not wasting ink and paper disputing an account that may not necessarily be showing up on that particular vendor at that time, right? Thank you so much. All right, so going back up to Keith. Keith's question was about the community. So we have a Dispute Panda community. There are the regular Dispute Panda, and then there's a pro members only. The pro membership, we meet on Thursdays and we go over all things pro. If you have a question about the platform, how you're maneuvering in the platform, we're able to answer. There is no difference except the people who are free, we only meet Monday and Wednesday. The people who have the pro platform, we meet one extra day on Thursday. So if the pro people want to come in on Monday and Wednesday, we here to pull up to the club Panda. So the training is not different. There are different things on the platform, on the pro versus the free. So the training will be different because you're able to see more on the pro than you're able to see on the free platform. Great question. Any other questions, guys? Any questions? Let's see. Thank you for the love. I think it's Chantelli. I think if I'm saying it right, honey, I like that name now. Okay. Like that name.
It's Chantelia.
It's Chantel. Oh, I done messed up your name. I'm sorry, friend.
No
Charge it to my mind. Not my heart, girl. Chantelia? All right,
Yes.
I'm gonna get it together. I'm Caribbean, okay? So I done renamed you. My bad.
No problem. Thank you.
My pleasure. Do you have any questions? It's still a cute name though. Do you have any questions about the platform at all?
No, other than just with the creditors, I see that that's the major part.
Mhm.
Like I hear you say that they, the first rounds they really won't even get. So I'm kind of trying to understand, like, with creating the letters, when should we and when should we not? You get what I'm saying? But I understand with the plan, it says yes to every attack. Is it,
Mhm.
yeah, so is it like we need to, if we don't have the pro, we need to manually create those letters with every attack, or it's just depending on the account itself, if that makes sense?
So I'm gonna tell you the answer that I'm gonna tell you my experience. So the first 8 months that the platform came out, I was only using the free version, even when they rolled out the pro version, because I already had another software where I had a portal. So I didn't see the necessity of all of that. So when they originally launched the pro, it did not come with creditor letters. It came with like updates for social media sharing and things of that nature, right? When they did change it, where they started to add in the creditor letters, I was like, wait a minute now. Okay, I'm gonna go to this. I'm gonna go to this pro, because it makes it a lot easier for you to hold not only the credit bureau feet to the fire, but also to hold the creditor's foot to the fire, because the creditor knows that the law is they have to respond within 30 days. They have to send stuff to you. So even if the credit bureau doesn't get a response, your client should get a response back from the creditor. Once the
Ah,
creditor sends the response back to your client, depending on what the response is, like I had one client where it said, the creditor sent a letter back saying, we can't even find your account. What? They said I had no account there. I made a copy of that letter 3 times. I wrote a letter to the credit bureau and said, hey, you need to remove this off my credit report because the creditor is saying they don't have an account for me here. This needs to be removed, right? So
yeah.
now I'm able to be more aggressive and be more detailed, that sometimes I may not have to use the system letter, but because the creditor done jacked up and messed up, I can use them to get that debt off for the client as well.
That makes perfect sense. Got it.
I'll
Yep.
be trying to make some, girl. I'll be trying to make
Yes.
some.
Yes. Thank you for clearing that up, because now I get it. Like you said, just a ball of fury with the
Mhm,
attacks, making
mhm.
sure, trying to see who's basically going to slip up when it comes to the information and
Yep,
getting it off. That's the goal. So,
that's it.
yeah, I got
And
it.
the thing is, and this is what I like to say, and I say this in every class, credit repair does not mean I'm going to, so pause. I need to say these 2 things. Number 1, when you are going through credit repair, I definitely say, as a person that has been doing credit on and off for 19 years, number 1, set expectations for your clients. Explain to them that you're going to leverage the law to hold the actual debt collector, whether it's the main creditor or the secondary debt collector person, right? Hold them to what the law says that they're supposed to do. That does not mean that because you get the debt off, you didn't owe them. Okay. Now listen to me, Sha. Okay. You borrowed $100 from Wells Fargo. You know you borrowed $100 from Wells Fargo. You owe them. Okay. However, if Wells Fargo is not following the laws on how they're reporting that you owe them that $100, then I can use the law to get that debt or that collector off of your credit report, right?
Um,
That doesn't mean you don't owe Wells Fargo. So now if you want to have relationship with Wells Fargo in a couple of months, in a couple of years, you're going to have to make an executive decision if I'm going to pay this debt so I could be in relationship with this company.
Got it. Yep.
You follow
Okay.
what I'm saying?
Mhm.
So that's number one. Setting expectations. If you burn the bridge, make sure you never have to cross that bridge again. I tell
Okay.
that to people who have American Express. Honey, American Express is an amazing card to have depending on where you're going. There's a Delta card, all of the things is out there for American Express. However, if you burn that bridge, and even if the law, because American Express is not reporting accurately, I can get the debt removed off of your profile. So on your credit report, your debt to income ratio is lower, right? But that doesn't change the fact that you may still owe American Express. Now, if the statute of limitation has passed, depending on what state you're in, I'm in Texas, so they have 3 years to take me to court. If they don't take me to court within those 3 years, guess what? They lost their chance. Okay? But you want to educate your client on if the debt is valid, it's being reported accurately, there's no errors on file, I cannot get that removed. I've only been able to remove debt if there has been inaccuracy based on what the law says.
Got it.
Okay? Once you educate your client on that, it makes it a lot easier for us to navigate the space on what needs to happen, right? Terrell says, do we have time to do a stall letter rundown response? Sure, Terrell. Go ahead and come off of mute. What questions do you have about stall letters?
Base first, how you doing tonight?
Hey, I'm good.
Basically, I just wanted to understand that, like, it's because I see a static letter that you can do to I'm stuttering, but there's a static letter that you have for response for stall letters, but then I also see that I supposed to do that in conjunction to like the submit
Dispute?
Yeah.
Okay, so here's what I'm gonna tell you. Ooh, I look cute over there. Sorry, something just popped up on my phone. I look real nice, y'all. I look blessed. Okay, so the answer to the question is, when you're handling stalls, the appropriate way to handle a stall, in my opinion, is that you would respond if it's within the first 14 to 15 days. So if you sent out a dispute letter, and so rule of thumb, I'm going to tell you how I dispute. Rule of thumb, I do not send all the letters together in one envelope. So when I'm utilizing the software, we're going to the attack. Hold on. We're going to the attack, right?
Okay.
There are 2 TransUnion letters. That means I am physically mailing out 2 letters. I don't care if I can put all of this in one envelope. I'm sending out 2 letters because I know that it costs them anywhere from 25 cents, I think, and up for them to pay their person to open the mail, process the information. They paying what they weigh over there, right? The more that I send in, the more work you have to do. Sometimes a person will allow things to be deleted just because of the fact that they ain't got time to be looking at all this stuff. Okay. So number one, I am sending out the letters. If it says that there are 3 letters to Experian, then I am writing 3 envelopes and I'm sending out all 3 letters individually. If I had a stall letter that came back to me, I send it out on day 1. It normally takes about 5 days, 3 to 5 days for your letter to get to its destination, right? So that's why the system has a 35-day turnaround time for you to get a credit, because you're sending out the letter day 1, you're allowing 5 days for it to get there, and then 30 days by law for them to process. Okay.
Right.
So I sent it out day 1. Day 7, they sent me a letter and said, we all know this is you. We need you to verify your information, blah, blah, blah. Let's say it was Experian that did that, right? I would then come here. I would go to static because it's day 7. I got the letter on day 7. I saw it. I opened it. I touched it. I know it's here. I'm going to go ahead and come down here to the stall letter. I'm going to check the box. I'm going to write on January 1st. I'm sorry, on June 1st, because we're in June. June 1st, 2024. I sent off the letter. That's what I sent my original dispute. I'm then going to hit start round, and I'm going to print off the stall letter that is generated. I am then going to attach, if you have Pro, you're able to attach just the letters from Experian here. It will then allow the stall letters to be printed with the dispute letters all together.
Okay.
If you do not have Pro, okay, that option ain't there. It's grayed out, y'all. Don't even worry about it. So you're just going to click this button. You're going to print out 3 copies because you want one to go with each round of the disputes for Experian. And you're going to resend the dispute. Now, let's say you got the letter on day 7, but you didn't open it till day 23. Honey boo, don't even worry about it. Go to the next round. What I would do, and this is just me, I would include verbiage, and this is because I am a free form writer. I have included verbiage that says, hey, by law, you're not allowed to discredit. Now, I do want to point out that on the letters that go out, if you guys take the time to read it, that verbiage is also there. So what I will do with my round 2 is highlight that verbiage that's on the letter. Does that make sense?
How do you, okay.
How do I what, my love?
You said the Experian letters had 3, you had to print out 3 different letters for the Experian letter.
For this particular client, correct.
Okay. All right. I think
So some client might have more, some clients may have less. Like this person has 2, this person has 2 Experian, 2 TransUnion, and 3 2 TransUnion, 2 Equifax, and 3 Experian. But your client might have more than that, depending on how many things you're disputing. So if you're getting a stall letter back from one of the credit bureaus, you're just sending that stall letter and you're resending the disputes from that one particular credit bureau, not to all of them.
But technically, all 3 of them came back. So
if all 3 of them came back, I would print the stall letters and I would literally resend all 3 of them.
Okay.
Yep.
So you just said do the stall letters or just do another round of attacks? I guess you said after. Actually, you said after, if it's 14 days, then you can just send another stall letter back to them. But if it's some time, then just send a second wave of attack. But then,
so let me be clear: you do not ever send a second wave of attack outside of that 30-day window. So I don't care if they sent you a stall letter. I don't care if they sent you a stall letter. You are never going to respond earlier than the 35-day window, ever. Because
so you
legally,
said never respond earlier than 35?
No.
Okay.
So let me be clear. The first round of letters that you're doing, so let's say you accidentally sent sent out the same letters twice, right? You sent it on day 1 and you accidentally mailed out the same letters on day 15. I'm not worried about that because it's the same verbiage, right? So they're going to look at it. They're not going to see it as frivolous. But if you do round 1 on day 1, you send it out, they send you a stall. So you go ahead and go, oh, well, it's day 20. Or it's day 15. I'm just going to send the next round of letters. You are now giving them license to add an additional 14 days on your original set of disputes. So legally, you do not want to do that. You want the system, because even though they send you that stall, my love, I promise you sometimes they'll work that file. Sometimes they will still work the file. They'll remove some addresses. They'll remove some dates. They'll do a little something. Okay.
Shuffle.
Yeah, a little shuffle, a little 2-step. Okay. But if you go ahead and you send a different round. So for instance, on day 1, you came and you did Punch of Fury Supreme Boosted. You sent that out. They sent you a stall letter. You didn't open your mail till day 23. You say, well, bump it. I'm just going to go ahead and send out my next round of letters. No, you are going to wait that 35-day window, and then you're going to update your report and see if anything has been completed. If anything has been removed, updated, you're going to track that. And then you're going to move on to the next round of disputes. I personally am a 40-day company because I want it to go out, I want it to be processed, and then I want it to come back.
Okay.
To my client. So personally, I don't update any earlier than 45 days. I'm sorry, 40 to 45 days is my goal.
Oh, okay.
Okay. But if you are doing it, you are not going, okay, it's day 23. I'm gonna go ahead and do the next round. No, sir. You're gonna sit tight. You're gonna put some gas in your car, whatever y'all do with the cars, you know.
What, you got a Tesla?
Heck no, I ain't got no Tesla, child. I put gas in my car. Unless my husband is with me, then my fingers are broken.
Understandable. Well, thank you so much.
My pleasure. Any other questions?
Last question. Where did you get this PDF at? Because I want this.
You have to go here to the training tab. So if you're in the Dispute Panda platform, you're going to click on training. It's going to open this window. And before you slide down, right here it says free download. It is giving you the flow. Step by step,
Okay.
what to do, how to do
Well,
it.
I've been YouTubing everything.
Now, if you done YouTube, then you done seen my face before. Show you how to do this now. You know what, Terrell?
Well, technically, I didn't see you Dispute Panda stuff. I've been everywhere else, but I've been like avoiding the actual training, like the plague, and that's on
so
me.
You ain't want to pull up the Club Panda with me?
You know, I came over here on a humble, and I was just like, let me find out what's going on over here, and I just came over there. I was like, and I was like, oh, this is the worst part is it's very useful. I was like, so much information.
Katrina,
we didn't charge him then.
Dispute Panda charged me enough.
I can't even, I'm clutching my imaginary pearls. I'm just clutching them. I can't believe it. But I'll be back here on Wednesday though. Okay, so pull up to Club Panda. Thank you very much. I appreciate you.
I definitely will.
Any other questions, guys? Any concerns? Anything? Thank you, Trina, for having my back. Because you see how Terrell do me, friend?
I have a question. So what's the price for the Pro anyway?
Yep. So right here, let me go to pricing. So it is it's $1 for 14 days, and then you are billed $197 thereafter.
Okay.
Did you say no thanks, friend? Look, is it what she said? See, I don't Miss Chantel.
I said okay. No, I said okay.
Oh, okay.
No, I said okay.
You said okay. She said, oh no.
Oh, she said, oh no.
In the chat, Miss Shannon said, oh no. So yeah, it's $197. You do get a host of benefits. Like I said, you get the creditor letters. I was saying no thank you to any other. Oh, okay. Well, thank you. If you guys think of any questions, I'm here. Okay, I'm here. But you do get a host of upgrades, a whole host of additional platform benefits. Again, to me, the major thing that you get is if you're using Credit Dino and you have the Pro, you get the creditor letters. And to me, that's epic. All right, guys. Any other questions, concerns, or comments? Looks like no. Terrell looked like he done asked the question. Terrell, don't you mail out another dispute round until it's after 35 days, Terrell. I'm watching you. All 4 of my eyes is watching you.
I definitely won't. I just learned. I was sitting there disputing on should I do it, and I was like, let me wait on it. Let me look at everything else. And then you just told me, and I was like, well, I'm glad I didn't do it because I'm close. My 30 days is on, I think Friday actually.
Okay. Well, you're not waiting for 30. You're waiting for 35 days.
Yes, 35. So
there you go. So when you're going to wait for the 35 days, and I think a lot of people get scared. This is why I normally hold a class. I normally have a class once a quarter, but right now my mentorship, I'm trying to gear that up. So with the mentorship that I have going on, I'm teaching everyone. Actually, this month, I'm going to be going over looking at the credit report. For some reason, everyone is afraid to read this credit report. And I promise you, it's going to tell you what your client is missing. So do not leave out looking at that credit report. Look what has changed. Has an address been removed? Has a name been updated? Like, all of those things matter, because a lot of people think the credit report is just the actual score. Guys, when you are looking at the credit report, I know people who have gotten declined for a job because they move too much. Okay? Not because their credit score was bad, y'all, but because they move too much. So cleaning up all of that information is pivotal for your clients as well. Okay? So just look at the holistic view of what your client needs. And if you guys need anything, I am always here. Any questions, concerns, or comments before I let you guys go tonight? I'm going to stop sharing. Let me stop sharing. Any questions? Miss Katrina, I thank you for pulling up to the club, to Club Panda. I thank you guys. Terrell, Angel, and now Shanta, I done messed up your name again, okay? But I'm sorry. I like you though. So sorry. I'm gonna do better. Now I'm gonna remember your name. I appreciate you, friend. But see, I got you Shanta, because that's the name. You need anything, Miss Katrina?
No, just, still gonna play with it. Well, not play with it, but trying to get myself familiar. I did add myself and my daughter as clients just to see.
Yes. And you want to see what's going on there? Have any questions? Nope. I gotta wait till 35, but I will be here on Wednesday. I'm so glad you're coming back to Club Panda. Invite your friends, invite your crew. I don't know if I'm gonna have the same wig, but you should come to see if I am. Okay, that's what you need to do. Remember, customer service is here 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. I am going to drop my contact in the chat. So if you listen, I'm telling y'all the truth, this might be the hell, okay? But Curly Sue may not be here on Wednesday. All right. I don't know who might be here. It might be fried out and laid to the side, but you gonna enjoy her when she shows up. If you guys have any questions, concerns, or comments, please let us know. Otherwise, I want to say thank you so much for giving me your time. And I hope you guys have an amazing remainder of your night. Okay. Bye, guys.
Bye.
I love it. You guys were amazing.